Worth the Trip features a wide variety of out-of-school activities and offers practical advice on how to organise and get the best out of school trips. Coming up, Steve Lord and his pupils from Poole School and Community College visit Goonhilly Satellite Earth Station in Cornwall. And Claire Corris and her class from the Leyland St Mary's Catholic Technology College are on a math trip to Camelot. Steve Lord and his pupils from Poole School and Community College are visiting the largest satellite Earth station in the world. Goonhilly, based in Cornwall, has over 60 dishes on site and is able to transmit to every corner of the globe. The pupils are taking the trip as part of their investigations into science.
In a couple of days, we're going to take a group of Year 7 students to Goonhilly Earth Satellite Station. It's the centre of a huge communications network, and they're responsible for many of the telephone calls, the television programmes and intercontinental links in the whole world.
Well, Goonhilly Satellite Station is the oldest and largest Earth station in the world. What we're actually doing here, we're a working site and we're actually transmitting telephone, data and TV broadcasts all over the world with our satellite dishes. Communications
is an ever-increasing part of the world, and understanding how simple things work, like telephones, it's that link section that's important. I think that they can possibly fill this gap better than I could in the lab.
We offer a wide range of key activities that go in with the curriculum. For secondary schools, we cover 4 areas: literacy, art and design, ICT we do a lot on, and also history, a world case study after 1900. Within the local area, because we're based in Cornwall, the Cornish and Devon schools come free into the site, and we have a special bonus for Cornish schools in the fact that we have a bus and we can actually go and pick them up free as well.
The plan is that we're going on a bus tour with a guide who will explain exactly what's going on, a little bit of the history of the place.
What we're going to do now is tour the site in a bit more detail, and before we make our way back over onto the visitor centre site. Now, Goonhilly is situated within a site of special scientific interest, and it's a nature reserve that's managed by English Nature. Coming up on your right-hand side now, we have Merlin, the most powerful and advanced antenna on site. Merlin can carry up to 15,000 telephone calls at any one time. Now, here we are coming alongside Guinevere on the right-hand side now. The grey tower at the back of the antenna is a lift shaft, and she's the only antenna on site that has a lift fitted to her.
We saw a film between 2 parts of the bus trip, and it showed us what happens in a television centre, how they link with outside crews, and they took us specifically to one in an area of war abroad. It showed us how signals come from there, how they get sent out to space and to a satellite, brought back down to Earth, and then end up in our homes.
Hello, Sue. Hey, what happened? Sorry, we've had your brother.
They have some free time, they're going into the visitor centre, there's some interactive stuff that they can work on. I think they can do things with Morse code, and they can make 3D images, and they can send messages out to space, and a whole variety of things. So what are they supposed to be then? What are they supposed to represent? They're supposed to represent satellites going around the Earth, and the closer they get to the Earth, the faster they go. It's a video conferencing unit.
Hello!
I'm going to go that side now, let me see what they do, okay? Sending a message to outer space. Okay. So we've got, hello, I'd like to know what it's like in space, and do you have to go to school?
Is it beaming up onto the satellite and then beaming down to like live television?
Yeah, it could be. Okay. So you got the idea there's a link between this and that one, but it could be a lot further apart, couldn't it? Well, I found some of the questions are really good. They're actually quite difficult to answer some of them because I don't know how all this stuff works myself. I have an idea of some of it, but I'm not an expert. So in many cases, it's a question of, well, remember that question. We'll try and find out when we get back to school. So in terms of work later, there are an awful lot of questions to be answered. I think without a doubt they prefer the interactive stuff. They prefer to actually get in and do it. And they've loved the three-dimensional images and that type of thing.
Well, in the classroom you can only see like pictures and videos and stuff of what it's like, but when you come here it's completely different. It's a lot better to learn it here. And it's more interesting as well, sitting in a classroom writing.
You can't really fit a big satellite dish in the classroom, so it's more interesting to sort of go and see one.
Learning about all the things that go on in the world that when you're at home you don't really know about, and it's a whole network and new stuff to explore and everything.
It's been great watching the kids enjoy themselves. It's a different sort of relationship you form when it's like this, and when we're back in the lab, we'll have lots to talk about.
There are many science trips available around the country. The Deep in Hull is an environmental and educational charity dedicated to understanding and protecting the world's oceans. Secondary science activities offer insights into the diet and habitats of the animals in our planet's unique underwater environment. The Museum of Science and Industry in Manchester tells the story of the world's first industrial city. The museum's Learning Centre provides activities and resources which include guided tours, science shows and the Science Club Network, which produces customised events such as themed workshops and debate days. Think Tank is Birmingham's Museum of Science and Discovery. This centre encourages pupils to explore and interact with the exhibits. Think Tank has 10 galleries and runs workshops, science shows, science debates and activity trails. At Inspire in Norwich, students have an opportunity for discovery-based learning. As well as offering over 40 hands-on exhibits, Inspire has linked with local research institutes to provide the Science Squad, a programme of shows using live experiments. There are a range of galleries, activities and resources on offer at the Science Museum in London. Dynamic lecture theatre shows are available throughout the school year. The museum has collections and records of scientific, technological and medical change since the 18th century. Claire Corris from Leyland St Mary's Catholic Technology College is taking her group of Year 7 pupils on a maths trail to Camelot Theme Park in Lancashire.
We chose to go to Camelot because we took a group 2 years ago from the Year 6 feeder schools. We enjoyed it thoroughly, so we thought we'll take the Year 7s again and see how we get on. The trip will cover Pythagoras' theorem about right-angled triangles and the more complicated questions involving that, including isosceles, circles, areas, circumferences, areas of sectors, also using practical calculator problems, estimation, surface area and volume. The pupils have done quite a lot of preparation work for the trip, so on the day they're not asking questions, they're more kind of focused on doing the work rather than gathering it for the first time.
At the first activity, the children learn about shapes and symmetry.
At the moment, we're in the Castle Camelot discussing rotational symmetry, line symmetry, see what shapes they can see, identify the shapes like trapeziums, rectangles, triangles. If you split into two shapes, what do you see?
A rectangle and a semicircle.
A rectangle. So what shapes have we got there? What shapes can you see?
I see like a shield. Yeah, shield.
A shield. Has that got any lines of symmetry?
Yeah, it's got one. No.
Straight down the middle. So if you put a line,
No, because the diagonal line.
It's a diagonal line. What are the properties of an isosceles triangle?
2 angles are the same.
2 angles the same, and what about the sides?
2 sides are the same.
And how do we show that on a diagram?
It has a line on each.
Has line on each. So that's what it says, make a sketch. Right, what we're going to do now, we're just going to do these measurements. You're going to do the front of the building by pacing.
30, 40, 50.
We're trying to estimate the length and the width of the building to find the kind of surface area of the floor.
For activity 2, the pupils visit the log flume to study volume.
6.
Times by 80.
Over the winter, the waterproof lining has been ripped. Because of the amount needed to cover the interior of the pond.
Work out the volume in centimetres cubed and then convert it. How many slides coming down will it take until the water rises so it kind of overflows the top? 12.5 litres. If you can fit 1 litre into your measurings you've got home, do you think if I filled them up 12 times I could fill that pond? Really? Right, so I think we've done something a little bit wrong here.
Is times in the depth by the width? How to calculate that?
Right, well look at the sides. You've got that side along there, this side along here, this side along here but you can't see it, and that side along there, and the base, okay? And then length times depth times 2. So that'd be fine then, if you're doing that.
Activity 3 uses the kingdom in the clouds to look at shape and speed.
We'll look at the shape, look at the 12 spines, think about what shape it makes if you've joined all the spines together, those kind of things. Right, yes, team.
Is the area of that base has perpendicular height?
Correct. Divide by 2, don't forget. You okay, girls? Right, how are you getting on with this?
At Activity 4, the pupils use the jousting arena to work on approximation.
Right, you have to work out the approximate seating capacity to the nearest 10 people. I have an estimate.
About 1,500.
Off the top of his head, 1,500. Overall, I think the trip has been a great success because basically it's got so much maths in it, it's got so much application about what they can possibly do.
Yeah, perpendicular height multiplied by the base over 2.
It's all to help with the memory recall as well.
Here are some examples of other maths trips available across the country. The American Adventure in Nottingham offers free familiarisation trips. The many rides and attractions in the park bring maths to life. The park also provides packs, making it possible to bring the adventure back to the classroom. The Weald Downland Museum in Chichester, West Sussex provides practical sessions using the museum's historic buildings and exhibits to explore mathematical concepts. The collections offer exercises in number, algebra, shape and space, measures and data handling. The United Kingdom Mathematics Trust, based in Leeds, is a registered charity which advances the education of young people in mathematics. The UKMT organises national competitions around the country and other enrichment activities for 11 to 18-year-olds. The Millennium Mathematics Project runs free lectures held in Cambridge for primary and secondary schools. Lectures cover a huge range of topics, from paper folding, the maths behind David Beckham's number 23 shirt, to modelling climate change and predicting avalanches. Vindolanda and the Roman Army Museum in Northumberland welcomes school groups and provides an excellent educational experience for all age ranges. Self-guided maths tours are available, with opportunities to use the barrack rooms, excavation site and Hadrian's Wall for numeracy challenges. For more ideas on school visits, catch up with us next time on Worth the Trip.
Can you go this way as well? I don't even know where it is. I think it's probably that way. Should be able to see it, I hope.